Hello, and welcome to The Relevance of Now with William Linville. My name is Michael Connell. I'm here with William. Hey, Will.
Hey, Michael, how's it going, buddy?
Fantastic. Thanks. How are you?
I am doing awesome.
Great. We were talking about the law of grace. And what is the law of grace?
The law of grace, it's a very beautiful attribute because you use it in facilitation. Like someone comes in, a beautiful dear one, another beautiful facet of creator with whatever symptomology. It could be financial, it can be body debilitation, it could be dear ones in wheelchairs, it can be blindness, it can be marriages that are gone south, abusiveness, rape, pillage, plunder, stuff. On both sides, the raper, pillager, and the one being perceivably victimized. And you invoke the power of the law of grace. So right now, I invoke the power of the law of grace with the understanding that I ask and I shall receive through the power of the law of grace, which supersedes all cause, core, record, and the effect. And what that means is incarnationally, from first separation all the way to now, that everything is cleared out, wiped clean, and the cause, core, record, and the effect of what has created this symptomology, this ailment, diagnosis, whatever it may be for the dear one, that it be superseded and that the cause, the core, the record, and the effect of it be resolved and dissolved now for their highest and best good and for the highest and best good of all concerned. And now, whether it's from a distance or whether it's in the physical, hands-on, we put our hands on the dear ones, welcoming in the highest vibratory level of energy and consciousness, creator consciousness, to run through your body all the way out the palms of your hands, through your heart, out the palms of your hands, into their body, mind, and aura. And within all levels, all dimensions of their being. And you let it run through, and their body is going to go through these changes, these activations, those purifications, and where from the soul level, from the consequent recurring effect of all the fallacious conscious and agreements and everything you've ever experienced, everything you've ever internalized or done, whatever, from resentment, anger, guilt, remorse, hatred, judgment, whatever, it all becomes resolved and dissolved. Now you end up closing them up at the end. Namaste, have blast, you break energy, clear yourself. And now they go about their own journey. And what happens for them through the law of grace is for about the next 21 plus days, which is becoming more longer at times, but also more sped up at times. Yeah, what's done is done. It's been lifted, cleared out. Now their process begins. At times, sometimes it's dream states, sometimes it's like deja vu, sometimes it's old memories, whatever. It all starts to surface. And what's happening is that it's unlocked now. So the body's regenerating, rebuilding. It's interesting because it's actually dimensional, but for the sake of understanding, I'll call it memories. The cause, for the record and effect of the memories, they come up not to become re-identified with, but they come up, and as you're waving goodbye to them, goodbyes are coming up and they're coming out and dissolving and making room for more of them to come forth through their body and through the mind as a clear and perfect conduit of themselves and divine love and truth. You know, it's so awesome because from here, you're invoking the power of the law of grace, which is done with great love, passion, and compassion, not begging, not wailing, and all that other stuff. It's more a matter of fact, a directness, but it can only be accessed through love. Love, passion, and compassion for the dear one in which you're facilitating.
Sounds like grace is, in the way we're using this word grace and the law of grace, is creator consciousness.
Yes.
Okay.
And total forgiveness. Like, it's like forgiving a debt. It's not done like someone's judging you. I mean, the worst judger there is yourself that took in all the stuff in the first place. The universe doesn't judge, only humanity does.
Right. So laws are created by creator consciousness, which we're a facet of. So we're a part of creating that. And they are how creation was created, that we function with in a body.
Yeah. And we can call them laws, we can call them universal law principles, on and on. But when you really step back from it, you really look at it, we can call them laws, we can call them whatever we want. But more importantly, it's just about, it's like a manual, just how things work.
Right. This law of grace is interesting to me because I'm trying to tune into it, and it seems to me that it is acknowledging that we're creator consciousness, and as such, when you're talking about law of deliberate creating, I know they all kind of intertwine. It's just we're invoking creator consciousness to assist us in a body, in the body functioning more optimally, or things to be easier in our relationships. Is that correct?
Yeah. Because when you walk into a relationship, which relationships are really simple, at the very source of a relationship, it really comes back to yourself, which is your ability to relate. That really sums up the whole definition of relationships.
Right.
Just point blank, the ability to relate. Now, right here, right now, as we sum up your ability to relate, it's not putting walls up. It's not being metaphorically walked all over. It's really through your heart, your ability to, like, even forgiveness. I mean, forgiveness is a really misperceived phrase, because forgiveness isn't about I forgive you and you forgive me and blah, blah, blah. If we could shift that a little bit to, now I understand myself. So therefore, I understand you. To where now there's really nothing to forgive. It's been all about you understanding who you are, remembering who you are, and understanding where, when, how that you got to the point in which you got to that created that angst within you that would take anything personal. And even the falsivity that you even have a personal to take personal.
So you're seeing that there's nothing to judge.
Yeah. And there's really nothing to forgive. There's only the misperceptions to bring in the clarity.
And so when we just take a moment and take a deep breath and invoke the law of grace in a relationship that might be having conflict, it's saying, I don't need to analyze all the reasons why. I don't need to keep telling myself I forgive them, I forgive you. I don't need to go through what the younger me felt. It's saying, I get it all.
Most definitely. It's kind of like, if you could put yourself in the position for a minute, you as creator, everyone on the planet is a facet of creator. So here you are, you as creator, created the heavens and the earth. You said, let there be light, and there was light, and there is light, and you are light. Now, let's take all of that in perspective right now, right into your heart. Now, this is where it becomes a major comedy. So here you are, creating your light, the heavens and the earth, all that is, and you as all that is. And now, Mary said I have a big nose. I mean, how much are you going to laugh hysterically at that because of someone's opinion? You just created the heavens and the earth. You created light beingness. You created all that is. are you really going to care about someone else's opinion about you? Are you really going to become angst because someone thinks you need to get nasal surgery or something? It's only their opinion.
Right.
And it's one of those things, right, where it makes you step back for a moment, take a breath. And are you really going to take that personal? I mean, isn't it cool how, whether it's Mary, whether it's Jennifer, whether it's whoever, whatever, they have the total free will and freedom not to look at your nose ever again. But what does that have to do with you? Because your nose is your nose. It's created with total perfection for you, with you, and as you. Because if I measure my nose, it's pretty short in comparison to a seagull, to an eagle, to an elephant. So what are we really comparing our noses to? And that's where it becomes a comedy. Your feet are too big compared to what? And so you really take it for what it's worth. But my point here is where, how can any of that be personal? It's only another dear one's opinion, which is based in judgment.
Right. So when we're noticing that we might be judging, or we might be feeling emotions, and we invoke the law of grace, it's a direct knowing of just going right back to our true self.
Exactly.
That's how we could use it.
Yeah, because now let's turn that around. Let's come back to you as creator that created the heavens and the earth and created light and said, let there be light. And so therefore there was. And now let's hear whoever, whatever, because you're in constant relationships, for one, with yourself, for two, with your mind, for three, with your body, for four, now your family monads, then for five, your intimate loving relationship with the heart, for six, your employment, the world, on and on and on. Now, when we look at all this together, and where we start to really see, feel, and realize all of that stuff is happening outside and around you. Let's take a breath, you as creator, right here, right now. And once again, asking ourselves, how best can I relate? How best can I just be myself? Whatever that looks like, in every moment is going to change because you're constantly metamorphosizing. But also how, once again, let's let the world be the world, but yet now, with your significant other or whatever, let's just really look at them now through the eyes, which is your eyes, your true eyes of an as creator, with passion, compassion, clarity, vibrancy. No totem poles, no I'm further, you're further, I'm higher, you're higher. No, let's look at them really for a moment through the eyes of the heart, the eyes of and as and through creator, looking at another facet of creator, whether they realize it or not, and just how best can we love?
Mm-hmm.
How best can we embrace? How best can we, within everyone, see that light and the perfection within them?
Right. Yeah, I can feel if I just say to myself, I'm invoking the law of grace, it wipes my other thoughts and perceptions and judgments clean, and allows me to, how best can I love? Because then I'm in the now, I'm in my presence.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how the ego kicks up. Only time you experience that angst, this goes across the board as a fact. The only time is when your perceptual ego is perceiving that is being threatened. Because now it comes back full circle, back to yourself, your relationship with your body, your relationship with your mind. Now, the ego is not the mind. The ego is all those perceptional judgments that you made true, like coming through the womb and everything else. You said, okay, well, my mother loves me, doesn't love me, I'm wanted, not wanted, making all these decisions about a perceptional self that's not really yourself. And that created the ego. So the ego is separate from your mind, separate from your body. But then we look at it, and the ego that's now perceiving itself to be threatened. And we step back, we ask the ego, what are you so afraid of, my good friend? And I do say, my good friend, because you don't have an enemy. Creator doesn't look at creator and perceive itself to be threatened. So now we look at the ego, which is really just a scared little child. And where is it perceiving itself to be threatened? This is where your heart, the love, your compassion for that little child that's have made all these misperceptions about what is, and given all this energy, all this power. We're together. We can really just see it for what it is, as it is, where it is. Embrace it, and even share with it, hey, you're fine, I'm fine, all is well. You're safe, I'm safe, all is well. And I want you to really look at that, feel that, because now we're playing with a whole nother level of fluidity again. We're not battling it, because for you to go to head with the ego is just, I mean, literally creating a whole nother ego. Then it's also feeding the ego and giving it a total buffet within your body and your world. So if we can kind of rise above demonizing anything, you're free.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you, William. Thank you.
Oh, always, always, always. And there's all these different books that are out there, the Bibli, the Quran, and all these other things. They're all metaphors, but they're simplistic ways to remember who you are, of how to function in a body on a planet.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And thank you all for joining us. This is The Relevance of Now with William Linville. Please click subscribe. Join us next time. Namaste.
Namaste.